Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most amazing, high-stakes processes your body performs every single day, something we'd totally take for granted: blood clotting. Seriously, it's like a microscopic emergency plan that is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, think about it for a second. You get a tiny paper cut, and you don't just bleed out. Why not? Well, that seemingly simple question kicks off this incredible, perfectly coordinated biological drama. So how on earth does your body pull off this little magic trick every single time? All right, let's meet the team. First thing you need to know is that your blood isn't just some red liquid. Nope. It's much more like a super busy highway, and it's constantly being patrolled by a whole crew of emergency first responders, just waiting for the call to spring into action. So let's break down what's actually in your blood. As you can see, a little over half of it is this yellowish liquid called plasma. But the really interesting part for our story is that other 45%, the part called formed elements. Yeah, that's where we find our heroes. And here are the main players in that crew. You've got your red blood cells, they're kind of like the oxygen delivery guys. Then you have the white blood cells, the tough soldiers of your immune system. But for today, we are zeroing in on these guys right here, the blood platelets. They aren't even full cells, they're little fragments. And their whole job is to be the first on the scene of an injury and get the clotting process started. Okay, so now we're getting to the action. When those platelets get to a wound, they do more than just try to plug the hole. They trigger an unbelievably fast and precise chain reaction. It's called a cascade, and it's a real race against time that has to go off without a hitch. And here's where the real magic happens, in just 3 steps. You ready? First, the damaged tissue and platelets release a chemical messenger, an enzyme called thromboplastin. Second, this messenger, with a little help from calcium, finds an inactive protein just floating around called prothrombin and, bam, activates it, turning it into thrombin. And finally, this newly activated thrombin goes to work. It finds another protein called fibrinogen, which is usually just dissolved in your blood, and transforms it into these sticky, solid threads of fibrin. And those threads are the foundation of the clot. But wait, that incredible cascade can't happen all by itself. It totally relies on a couple of crucial, unsung heroes that you probably don't even think about. But without them, the whole system just grinds to a halt. And here they are. We just mentioned calcium, right? It's absolutely essential for that step where prothrombin becomes thrombin. But even before that, your liver needs vitamin K just to make the prothrombin in the first place. So yeah, that's a direct link between the leafy greens you eat and your body's amazing ability to stop itself from bleeding. Without enough of these key ingredients, the whole life-saving process just can't start. And, this really drives home just how perfect this system has to be. Because when you see what happens when it fails, you really start to appreciate how vital this whole process is. And this is a perfect example: hemophilia. It's a genetic condition where one of the key factors in that chemical cascade we talked about is either missing or it just doesn't work right. And what that means is that even a tiny little scrape can become a major life-threatening event. It's a powerful reminder of the miracle that happens every single time you get a cut, and it just stops. So let's get back to our successful clot. We've got those sticky fibrin threads we just made. Now it's time for the grand finale, where they actually weave the physical seal that stops the bleeding. This is just so cool. Those fibrin threads start to form this incredible microscopic net right over the wound. And as other blood cells, like red blood cells and more platelets, try to flow past, they get tangled up and trapped in this super sticky web. And that buildup happens fast, forming a solid plug we call a clot, or a thrombus, and that's what seals the leak. You've probably seen this yourself. Ever notice that clear, yellowish liquid that can sometimes ooze from a healing scab? Well, that's serum. And now you know exactly what it is. It's what's left of your blood plasma after the key clotting protein, fibrinogen, has been all used up to build that fiber net. Pretty neat, huh? So let's just end on this thought: a microscopic net of insoluble fibrin threads trapping blood cells to form a life-saving seal. It's just such an elegant and powerful way to describe this whole thing. The next time you get a tiny cut, just take a second to appreciate the incredible, high-speed,